Hello, in this lesson, we will explore the introduction to e-commerce and e-business. After studying this lesson, you will be able to, the first one, understand why it is important to study e-commerce, and then define e-commerce, e-business, and the related terminology. Next, recognize major current themes in e-commerce in the world and in Vietnam. The last one is to describe the major types of e-commerce. We will study the detail and small portion of each type in the next lessons. Now let's discover why we study e-commerce and the importance of e-commerce in our daily lives as well as the business. The rapid growth and change that has occurred in the first 2 decades of e-commerce represents just beginning of the e-commerce revolution. Technology continues to evolve at exponential rates. This underlying new opportunities to create new business models and change existing business models and firms. It is important to study e-commerce in order to be able to perceive and understand the opportunities and risks that lie ahead. So, why should we study e-commerce? By the time you finish this course, you will be able to identify the technological, business, and social forces that continue to shape the growth of e-commerce and be ready to participate in e-commerce in the firms where you work. More specifically, you will be able to analyze an existing or new idea for an e-commerce business throughout the case studies and course projects. You can identify the most effective business models to use and understand the technological underpinnings of an e-commerce presence, as well as how to optimally market and advertise the business using both traditional and modern e-marketing tools, which includes social, mobile, and local marketing. In this section, we'll first define the e-commerce and then discuss the difference between e-commerce and e-business. The section concludes with a look at some major current trends in e-commerce. So, what is e-commerce? There are so many different definitions of e-commerce, but in this course, we can understand e-commerce can be defined as the use of internet, the web, and the mobile apps and browsers running on mobile devices to transact business. More formally, e-commerce is digitally enabled commercial transaction between and amongst organizations and individuals. There are some other terminologies that refer to e-commerce, such as e-business, online trade, online transaction, but the most popular terms are e-commerce and e-business. There is a debate about the meaning and limitations of both e-commerce and e-business. However, in this course, we will use the two terms with the equal and broadest meaning. Here are some typical examples of e-commerce in the world and in Vietnam. The case studies discussed in this course focus on companies that you are likely to encounter on a daily basis in your everyday life, such as Facebook, Google, Twitter, Amazon, YouTube, Pinterest, eBay, and many more that will recognize as well as some existing and exciting startups that may be new to you. The major trends in e-commerce in recent years include a business, technological, and societal perspective. From a business perspective, one of the most important trends to note is that all forms of e-commerce continue to show very strong growth. From a technological perspective, the mobile platform based on smartphones and tablet computers has finally arrived with a bang, driving astronomical growth in mobile advertising and making sure mobile commerce a reality. At the social level, other trends are apparent. The internet and the mobile platform provide an environment that allows millions of people to create and share content, establish new social bonds, and strengthen existing ones throughout social network, photo and video posting, blogging sites, and apps, while at the same time create significant privacy issues. In Vietnam, we have major trends in e-commerce includes the social, the local, and mobile e-commerce. Omnichannel retail is also a key trend at the moment. That all of the e-commerce presence such as website, webshop, weblogs, social network, and so on are integrated. Nguyễn Kim, Thế giới di động, Vinmart are typical examples of modern omnichannel retail in our country. In Vietnam, according to Vietnam E-commerce Association (VECOM), from 2015, e-commerce entered a new phase with the outstanding feature of fast and stable development. In terms of growth rate, in 2015, the estimated growth rate of e-commerce was above 20%. The e-commerce growth rate in 2018 was over 30% and predicted to continue to grow over 30% this year, 2020. In terms of scale, with a low starting point of about 4 billion US dollar in 2015, but thanks to the average growth rate for 3 consecutive years, the scale of the e-commerce market in 2018 was about nearly $8 million. This market included online retailing, online traveling, online marketing, online entertainment, and online shopping for other digital services and products. If the growth rate of 2020 continues to be at 30%, the market size will have reached 13 billion US dollar this year. Next, let's move to the different types of e-commerce. There are a number of different types of e-commerce and many different ways to characterize them. For the most part, we distinguish different types of e-commerce by the nature of the market relationship, who is selling to whom. So, according to this way of classification, there are three major types of e-commerce that include B2C, B2B, and C2C, which stand for business to consumer B2C, business to business B2B, and consumer to consumer C2C e-commerce. For example, the business to consumer. The typical example of business to consumer B2C is Amazon.com, the largest online retailer in the world. For the business to business, Alibaba.com is the largest business to business or B2B platform in the world where connects the importers and exporters all over the world. Regarding to the consumer to consumer C2C platform in Vietnam, we have Shopee and the other platform that allows the end user, customer or consumers to be the buyer and the seller themselves. However, at the moment, we prefer to use the B2B2C platform like Lazada, Tiki, and even Shopee can be considered as the B2B2C platform. And there are other different types of e-commerce, which include mobile, social, and local e-commerce. Mobile, social, and local e-commerce can be looked at as subsets of the above types of e-commerce. However, we will discuss the detail and subsets of each e-commerce types in next lessons. The specific example of each should be discussed later also. To sum up, in this lesson, we addressed an important of e-commerce and then discussed the definition and current trends in e-commerce. In next lesson, we will examine the unique features of e-commerce technology and the evolution of e-commerce from its early years to today, and certainly the brief history of e-commerce can show up that evolution. See you in next lessons. Thank you for watching.